This is the best muffin in the world.
Hey!
I'm going to show you how to bake it. I'm the muffin chef. I got a package in the mail today from an old friend I have not heard from in, geez, I don't know, 30 years maybe? A long, long time. She sent me this. Took me totally by surprise. And she also sent me this note. She sent me a note. It says, Dear Jim, I have been watching your videos on YouTube, and I do agree that you are indeed handsome, and I'm glad to see that you pursued your dream of being a chef. You are indeed the handsome chef. Thank you. I was wondering if you could do me a favor. Could you please create a recipe that uses both cacao nibs and cocoa powder? I would really appreciate it. These are two of my favorite things, but I have not been able to successfully find a way to combine the two things to make something good, but I'm sure you can. Love, Becky.
My brother, he's been mutilated.
Sure, Becky. I'll do that for you. I'll do that right now. In a minute. This is...
Jim? Jim? Why don't you bake those cacao and chocolate muffins? Those are really good.
Yeah, that's a good idea, actually. I changed my mind. I'm not going to make those muffins after all. I'm not going to make muffins with cacao nibs and cocoa powder. I have decided instead I'm going to make the recipe that I am truly craving right now, and that is my sunflower seed butter, sunflower seed paleo recipe muffins that I call Jim's amazingly delicious, tasty sunflower seed butter and sunflower seed muffins delight. Sorry, Becky. Essentially, what they mean by paleo diet, they're referring to the Paleolithic period and what was available to human beings to consume in that era. This was from 2 million years ago until 10,000 years ago. That was a long time ago.
This is Tina. Oh, yeah, she's a psychotic bitch.
Here, here's your weapon. You know, lots of nuts, lots of fruit, vanilla extract, meat. Really what it all boils down to is that no refined things, no refined sugar, no refined flour. Preheat your oven to 375 degrees Fahrenheit. You'll need 2 bananas for this recipe, 2 eggs,
Oven.
and vanilla
Preheated.
extract, although vanilla extract only adds minimum value to any recipe it's in.
Hey!
Those 2 bananas I mentioned, take them, mash them up in the bowl. Use a fork, use a fancy masher, whatever you got, doesn't matter. I'm going to use a spoon. You will need almond flour for this. Do you understand? Almond flour.
Almond flour.
And coconut flour. The If you really believe that you can successfully make this recipe without a teaspoon of baking soda, you are a damn fool. Chopped pecans are essential to the success of this recipe. If you do not have any chopped pecans, stop now. Do not make this recipe, because if you do, you're going to ruin my good name. You are going to say, Jim Larsen taught me this recipe, but there's not going to be chopped pecans. People are going to eat it. They're not going to like it because it's not going to taste good, and that's going to reflect on me. Don't do it. You'll need maple syrup for this too. Dried cranberries. You're going to need some dried cranberries for this too. Don't forget that. Dried cranberries. And sunflower seed kernels. Yeah. You will also need cinnamon, allspice, and ground cloves. After you mash those bananas up, put 2 cups of the almond flour in there, a 1/4 cup of the coconut flour, some cinnamon, like 3 tablespoons, allspice, the cloves, just put a bunch of that stuff in there. The eggs, mix that in, of course. Everything else I mentioned that you have to have. A cup of the a cup of the sunflower seed butter, maybe a 1/4 cup of the coconut oil, a bunch of pecans. Just mix all that together. Anything else I mentioned that you need, the sunflower kernels, maybe a 1/4 cup, 1/2 cup-ish. Mix it all together and then go from there. There's really no reason to fuss and be too concerned about being exact and perfect with every measurement here. As far as the cinnamon, the allspice, the cloves, just put a bunch in. It doesn't matter. Whatever you want, whatever you're craving, whatever feels right to you. You do want 2 cups of almond flour, though. That is something that is important. That is what you have to remember when you make paleo recipes. A good rule of thumb, if you just want to experiment, try other things, have at least 2 cups of almond flour, coconut flour, something else. I don't make recipes just coconut flour. I do like maybe whatever I said here, some coconut flour, because it kind of gives it a little different texture that I kind of like. And baking soda, you definitely want at least a 1/2 teaspoon. I like 1 teaspoon. Other recipes say 1/2 teaspoon, whatever. I like a full teaspoon because I like it when they puff up more. So don't be too concerned about exact measurements. Nuts, just put whatever, 1/2 cup, full cup. You're not going to ruin the recipe if you have an ounce too many chopped nuts in your recipe. Same with raisins, if it calls for raisins. Cranberries, like this recipe. If you don't have cranberries for this recipe, you can substitute raisins. It should look like this. Then go put it in the oven. Those muffins need to bake in that oven for 27 minutes. Assuming you remember what I told you about baking that for 27 minutes, you now have 27 minutes to kill. You can do anything you want with that 27 minutes. Perhaps this would be a good opportunity to just sort of reflect on your life, think about where you are right now in your life. Ask yourself, am I happy here? Am I happy with where I'm at in my life right now? And if the answer is no, ask yourself, well, what can I do to do something different? How can I change my circumstances and maybe be a little bit happier than what I am? When you do this, focus on the positive. Don't dwell on the negative. Don't dwell on regrets of the past. Think about what you can do from where you are right now, because where else are you? Where else can you be? Focus on where you are right now and think about how to get to where you would rather be. When the muffins are done, enjoy them. You have some options now. You can enjoy them all by yourself, which is what I recommend. You can also maybe share them with somebody, but don't share them with just anybody. Share them with somebody that you really care about, somebody who actually cares about you. You might be thinking, oh, I can use these wonderful, delicious muffins to maybe make new friends, go to the neighborhood, distribute them, give them out, and then maybe these people will like me. Don't do that. If they don't like you already, they don't deserve your muffins. They don't deserve your time, your energy, your effort. They don't deserve anything. So don't waste your muffins on them. Keep them for yourself. If you have somebody already in your life who you appreciate and they appreciate you back, share them with them. But don't share them with anybody who doesn't already appreciate you for who you are. These muffins are just too special to squander that way. I'm going to go outside and I'm just going to enjoy one.